This call will be recorded, by the way, if anybody needs it. But you just have to kind of be there. You have to put yourself in the space to understand, like, wow, I have a company that just basically paid for me to go to a dream vacation for most people. For my mom, I was able to bring my mom, and her dream vacation was always to go to Hawaii. And her birthday happened to be that weekend. It was the 14th. So for me to be able to do that, and I think my bill at the end of the vacation was like $17. And that's kind of crazy because we ate all the time and we got to do all these different things. And when I was checking out, I owed $17 for a vacation to Hawaii. To me, that was kind of mind blowing. But as you all know, for the supervisors and up, that this month is a double volume month towards those vacation, because the hard part about the vacation is really just doing the volume. So, and for those of you who all really don't know what we're talking about when we talk about volume, for the new person, I want to be completely transparent for everybody. If you don't really know what a volume point is how Herbalife keeps track of everything. We have in over 90 countries, so we have to have a common currency. And our common currency to keep track of everything is a volume point. So a volume point here is the same point as a volume point in Zimbabwe if we open in Zimbabwe. So what I want to do really quick, because I really want to give Ali as much time as possible, I want to really give the next 5 minutes or so to the new person. And if you're brand new and if you've never really even heard anything, or you don't have anything around you, or if you're not brand new and you've never taught the marketing plan, I'm going to go over it. I'm going to go over it the fast way. I'm not going to sit here and draw things out, but I'm just going to tell you over the next like 5 minutes or so you can kind of get into your mind what's next for you, because I know we have new members on who are trying to get to their new level, but they don't know how. And we have like 3 days left in the month. So you may not even know that you might be close to getting yourself a promotion. So I just want to just, touch on these things so everybody knows it, so nobody's in the dark. So we all know that when you sign up, it's only $70 to sign up to get your membership. And as soon as you sign up, like the minute that you press submit and they accept you, you get a 25% commission and a 25% savings on all the products that you buy for forever. We call it like the forever. It used to be 68. We used to call it forever 68, but now it's like $70. So once you do sign up, you do get that immediate 25% discount and savings, and you're able to apply that right away. And everybody knows that, because when everybody signs up, they do see their discount and they see that they're a member. Some people just really don't know what's that next level. The next level, and this is important for the people who are at the member level to know that your discount can go from that 25% to 35%, but it has to be within a calendar month. Our calendar month is over, on Tuesday, I believe it is. So we need to know if you need to look at your volume and say, hey, I need to do this before the end of the month, which is 500 volume points in 1 month. And what we're looking at when we say volume points, we talked about, that's maybe you ordering your plan, but then getting like 2 or 3 of your friends or family or whatever to start their plans, and you accumulate 500 volume points. When you log into your page, look up at the top and you see that number. If that number says 500 before June is over with, your discount goes from 25% to a permanent 35%. Now, you'll be called a senior consultant once you hit that level. The next level is called qualified producer, and how you get there. We have 3 consecutive rolling months. So you have 1 to 3 months to achieve 2,500 volume points. And what that looks like is if you have maybe, let's say June, July, and August. And if you add the volume up from those 3 months and it equals 2,500, your discount will go from 35% to 42%, and you will be a qualified producer. But if in August, June, July, and August doesn't add up to 2,500, June just falls off, and you have July, August, and September. So it's 3 consecutive months. If you do it in a week, like Mock did it in like 2 days, if you do it like that, then that's okay. But if it takes you the 3 months, it takes you the 3 months. But you're allotted that time to do it. Now, the real reason why we're talking right now, because I want to go over the supervisor level, which is the 50% discount level. And this is where the business really starts. If you are talking about you want to go on vacation, or you're talking about how you want these promotions, or you're talking about how you want to be able to be qualified for everything and start receiving checks and big money, then it's achieving the supervisor status. And how you get there is you have 1 to 12 months, so pretty much a year, to accumulate 4,000 volume points. And what that just looks like is just getting a whole bunch of people healthy. You have, some people on here I know did it in a few weeks. Some people it took them 3, 4, 5 months. But if you really focus on what they've been talking about, building that consumer group, then you're able to get to that 50% level And if anything, if you don't really even want to do the business, I would just say go get the supervisor anyways, because buying, you know, when pumpkin spice come back out, you're going to want to buy that at 50% versus that 25%. You could be able to get a few more, you know, so you won't be crying when it runs out in December and you got to wait 6 months to get another one. So that's, if anything, even if you don't, you know, the business does not strike you, getting 50% not only off of the products, but if you have a friend that happens to order, getting 50% off of $200 is way better than getting 25% off of $200. You know, so that's the incentive in itself to just get the supervisor, whether you're going to do the business or not. So that's, I really wanted to touch on that because that's where the business really starts. Things get a lot better. These extravaganza promotions, for those of you who are going, everything that you're trying to qualify for starts at the supervisor level. People talk about that when they want to go to the Bahamas. Well, you have to be a supervisor first. And the reason I'm going over the marketing plan is because we actually got away from it. You know, a lot of, even at success training seminars, we're kind of getting away from teaching the marketing plan. And for me, one thing that I noticed, and I have to be kind of transparent for everybody, but specifically for my team and personally, we went on this path to where we started and people knew the marketing plan and we stopped teaching it. Then we started teaching a high level marketing plan and we stopped teaching it. And then we know we're talking about promotions and all these things, but we forget that we got brand new people. We forget that we have to continue the cycle. And I honestly myself, I forgot how I got to where I got to. You know, how I got to Get Team in 11 months. I forgot how I did that. You know, and I'm not going to say, I don't want to say that I forgot what it took, but I forgot that I got to do that again to get the Millionaire Team. And I forgot once I get the Millionaire Team, I got to do that again to get the President's Team. And those are the things that I kind of just like, it just came out of nowhere. But I realized you did all you could do to get to where you're at now. But it's kind of like I'm taking the same basket of lemons and I'm trying to get fresh lemonade out of it. You know, I can't squeeze old lemons and continuously get new. So I got to go back. I got to go to the lemon tree. I got to pick some new lemons and I got to create some new lemon juice, you know, because and for me, that just makes sense. And for everybody else who's trying to build a business, understand you can only get so much out. Somebody may only be 1,000 volume point person. You're trying to make them a 5K-er. Like that just may not be something that they do. Somebody on this call may just want to be a client, or they may just even want to enjoy their 25%. And we're trying to make them a supervisor. You have to understand, hey, get somebody's goals, meet them where they're at, but then go get somebody else. Because somebody else may want the opportunity. So that's my little bit of advice for people who are stuck. If you happen to get stuck, it's because you're trying to, you know, like I said, the analogy is you're trying to make new lemonade with old lemons, and that's not going to work. So you definitely have to go back into the pecking order and create some new. So I just really wanted to get that out of the way. And setting up our guest speaker today, I wanted to give him as much time as possible because he actually guest spoke on my girlfriend Chelsea's call last weekend. And of course I got to overhear because she put on speakerphone a few times. And some of his stories, like didn't know his story. I know him, you know, we're out here in the same region, but I didn't really know his story. And I didn't really know his background. And then I heard some of these things that he was saying, and I'm like, it really applies. I mean, it applies to everybody, but it really applies to a lot of people on my team as far as sacrificing work to always go to events. And you know, he's been around the company longer than I have. So, you know, he's experienced a lot more things than I have. And it's always good to get somebody else's perspective. I mean, because y'all hear me talk all the time. Y'all hear me say the same thing all the time, and y'all may just think I'm crazy, but I guarantee you something that he going to say is something I said before. It's going to sound different. Somebody going to be like, what? Stephen ain't never told me that. Like I did, but, you know, it may sound different coming from him. So how he told the story and you know, it really kind of, you know, resonated with me. And I felt like, you know, he was somebody good to hear, especially being that most of y'all are remote. This is the last thing I'll talk about before I let him go. Something that really struck me as important at our last success training seminar here. For those of you who don't know, we have a monthly meeting every month at different regions around the United States. We have different meetings, and it's this one person that comes to our success training seminar, never really makes a big deal about it, but I always hear, and she's always like, I came from Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm like, what? Stephen ain't never told me that. Like I did, but, you know, it may sound different coming from him. So how he told the story and you know, every single, nobody maybe even noticed this, but every single STS, she's like, I drove from Phoenix. She's not making a big deal about it because that's just what she does. But she's like, if I want to actually be really in this, she drives. And if y'all know where we're in California, Phoenix, Arizona is not like a walk down the street. That's, a several hour drive that she makes on a consistent basis every single month to go learn from the top leaders in the entire company. And for me, that says sacrifice. She has a job, she has kids, she has a life, but she also knows that her job and her life that she's in right now is not going to set her up for freedom. It's not going to set her children up for, her children are going to, 16 years old, thrown into the working system because that's what we do. As soon as we're able to work, we got to start working. So she wants a better life for her family. So she knows, hey, I need to go and be where the leaders and the people that I want to be like they're at. I need to be around them. So people who are like they don't have any events around them, yeah, it's cool. Like I live in the Inland Empire. I don't live in LA. People may think I live in Los Angeles, but it's like a nice almost 2-hour drive sometimes with traffic to get to these events. And imagine when I didn't have a nutrition club when I first started. So I had to drive to what's called like the mothership of our nutrition clubs. It's called Active Nutrition. I used to have to drive an hour and a half every single Saturday, for months and months and months to go to a Saturday school because I knew it's cool. I wanted to kick it. I wanted to go out. I wanted to enjoy California. I just moved here. But I understood that if I want to enjoy life to its fullest and not work like paycheck to paycheck just to have a paycheck to enjoy the weekend and maybe buy the new J's that's going to come out, like that's how I was spending my money and then that was it. Like how much left over after that. Like if I didn't want to live like that anymore, I want to live comfortably, be able to just buy all these shoes that I want to buy and clothes that I want to buy and take these vacations, but still live comfortably, I had to sacrifice a month of Saturdays. I had to sacrifice a year's worth of Saturdays to drive 2 hours to go to a meeting that's going to teach me how to do that. So that's what I really want to instill in everybody is the sacrifice that you have to make, in order to have a better life unless you want to just continue living the life that you have, which is fine. Some people like the life that they have. It's cool. But I think it's awesome that, Ali has a little bit of a story like that. So what I want to do right now is introduce somebody who's definitely making a very – I want to call it a humbling impact because, I guess you would have to be around him to see how he carries himself. Everybody's always watching. People don't really notice. But, he carries himself very, very humbly. And it's maybe, because he works with Style, for those of you ladies in my group who are just so anxious to meet Style Bell. He works with Style Bell. And, and they – I really like how they're building. They're building extremely massive. Definitely on his way to a millionaire team. I want to introduce to you guys global expansion team member Ali Hasaan.
Let's go. Thanks, bro. I want to thank you guys for allowing me to speak. Steven, you reached out to me. It was a big deal for me. I was like, damn, sorry, being real. This is dope. Steven is somebody who came in and we seen him come, right? We seen him coming and he had it. Like there's this sight, like this vision, and you can kind of tell when people are about to take off. So I want to congratulate the team because I know he wouldn't have done it without you guys, and you guys are killing it. And Steven, you're making an impact yourself. So for those who don't know me, my name is Ali. I've been a member with Herbalife for almost 4 years, and it's been a crazy experience. It's been some crazy successes. It's been some crazy cuts. I call them cuts, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit later about cuts. But I'm fired up to be on the call and share with you guys. I don't know all of you guys, but listen from a point of view of maybe this happened in your business, or if it didn't happen to you, maybe it's going to happen to a team member in your business, right? So a little bit about me, you guys. It's been almost 4 years. When I came around, I was not looking to do the Herbalife business at all, right? As a licensed barber, I went to school. I got my license. I was already my own boss. I already created my own schedule, right? But at the end of the day, it wasn't as rewarding or fulfilling. I always knew I wanted to help people, but I didn't know exactly how. In Herbalife, once I realized it was the vehicle for me to do so and actually have the fulfillment behind it, right? So necessarily, I'm going to just be real with you guys. It wasn't about the money. I didn't know too much about the money in the beginning. I didn't go to STS. I was invited to an event. Style used to invite me to events for a long time. I want to say 6 months, consistent, persistency, right? And it took me 6 months to go. So when I came in as a client, I got results though. I did lose 23 pounds and 12% body fat in 2 months, right? And I was like, dang, this is crazy. People need this. Like, I'm not tired no more. I'm not sluggish. Like, let's go. So I helped my mom right away, who's actually on my front line. She's a world team member of my organization. And she also dropped over 30 pounds and kept it off. And she was consistent and persistent and things like that. So it fired me up to just share this with people, because once I realized I was not selling, I was sharing, it was totally different, right? And for me, it landed as I can do this, right? I didn't have a sales background, so I didn't really know. But at the end of the day, we are doing sales. It's just whatever is going to work for you, whatever is going to allow you to grow. You know, look at it as you just sharing with other people, you know. So I went to my first event, you guys. Let me tell you, I signed up in November, I want to say 2011. I got my results. I went on vacation. Style always tells this story, how I went on vacation. It was like vacation after vacation, though. I used to travel a lot, and I used to come back and be broke. So I had to work my butt off to get back on my feet. And I was okay with that. But once I finally went to my first event, I realized, like, I don't even have to pay for my trips. You know, I can travel for free with this company, and the impact is going to be more rewarding and fulfilling behind it. So January, I decided I wanted to be a client who had a 50% discount, right? I call him a VIP supervisor. I heard Steven talking about, you know, some people just want to do 500 volume points. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a supervisor who did about 500 volume points, 50% off, because I understood the lifestyle behind it. Like, this is forever. This is Herbalife. It's lifelong, right? So it wasn't a fad. It wasn't a diet for me. It was lifelong habits, you know, while eating clean. And in January, I hit senior consultant, you know, and then he told me what was next, step by step. He met me where I was at as far as the way he coached me. I didn't say I want to build a business, so he didn't draw everything out to me. It would have been a waste of his time, obviously, or maybe it wouldn't have been. I don't know. It probably would have been a waste of his time at that point in my life. So step by step, I went through the marketing plan. And then that first month I did the 500. He said, okay, you got to do 2,000 more. You have 2 more months to do it. I did that. I was at 42%. And then he was like, okay, you have to do this to get the supervisor. Now, over the course of this time, though, he did keep inviting me to STS, right? And I say that to say, you guys, because sometimes it's not a no, it's not right now, right? And I never really said no. I just would tell him, you know, man, I'm a barber. I work at a barbershop. Saturday is the busiest day, right? That's like, I go in sometimes 7 o'clock in the morning and may not get off till 12 at night, right? And I actually have a witness in the room. He's over here. He's one of my downline members, but I've been knowing him for a while, and I used to cut his hair. And sometimes he'll pop up at 11 o'clock at night before he was going out, right? And now he also does his business with me as a world team member. So it's pretty cool, because I would say to myself, like, you know what? I'm going to go because that's my friend. He looked out for me. He got me results. You know, he showed me this. I'm going to just go check it out and more of support, see what he's talking about, right? So I finally went. This was it was June. It was June of 2012. I went to my first event, STS. So if you haven't been there, or if you haven't been there in the right mindset to be open to something new, you definitely got to get to STS. You definitely got to commit to events. Because after my first STS, I was committed. I was committed to every single STS after that, no matter what. Every event, I heard somebody say, you have to go to every single event, right? And when I got out of the room was more possibility, more hope, something that I've never seen before. Right. And I was seeing people walk across the stage, and I would be like, if all of these people are doing it, there's no reason why I can't. And going back then, I'm actually a chill guy. I'm very quiet. I used to be very nonchalant. If you spoke to me, I spoke to you. I was okay with being the cool guy in the corner, just chilling, you know. And I knew that I had to get out of that in Herbalife. So I had to figure it out. I had to gain the confidence. And I said I was going to go to every single event until I figured it out. Right. So whether I went to the event and sat in the back and was quiet, I was committed to going until I got better. Like I seen it for myself. So after that STS, you guys, I hit supervisor right away, right after. Like, it was like, okay, cool. What's next? Then he says 2,500. Keep in mind, they did explain the marketing plan, but as a first-time guest at an event, you don't really understand everything that's going on. It's more about the feeling and the vision, right? So he said I had to do 2,500, and I was in shock, like, wait, hold up. Like, we were taking gradual steps, and now I got to do 2,500 volume points, right? Wrap around belief. right? Wrap around like what's really possible for you, you guys. So think about it like this. As a barber who was doing cutting hair for a while, I had a great clientele. On Saturdays, I'm charging about $20 a head and you get tips, right? Let's say a head every 30 minutes, right? And a 12-hour day. You know, $20 to $25, could be more or less, right? I'm just going to say, in all honesty, you guys, it was hard for me to commit to an event when Saturday is my most busiest day, right? When it could be $600 to $800 I'm walking away from, right? Really, I'm just being honest with you guys. And I knew when I went, I'm like, dang, I got to pay for gas. I got to pay for parking, right? At this time, the event wasn't in Long Beach. It was Orange County, so it was a little bit further from LA, right? And I'm like, dang, I'm about to really commit to going here. And once I went, I said, dang, it's not even about the money no more. That don't even matter. I'm not even tripping. Like, I committed one Saturday every single month from there on out. All right, committed. So you have to commit to something, you guys. That it made sense, though, because when Style started his workout, it was only 5 of us, and I was committed to every single Monday, not knowing that it was going to grow to over 200 people on Monday mornings when some people have to work. Majority of people had to work, right? So you have to be committed to something. I don't know what that is for you guys, but you have to commit to something. Events is what I highly recommend if you want to build a business. It's a no matter what, right? And I know the feeling of, you know, doubling up on purchasing your ticket so you can be prepared to pay for the next ticket in advance. I hated that feeling. Like, you got to go to the event and drop this $35 on STS or $75 or whatever the case as far as the money is for the event, right? I know the feeling. One day you're going to have to, once again, sacrifice it. Like, make it happen. Be like, you know what? I'm going to double up on this event. I'm not telling you have to do it now, but eventually you want to double up so you can get ahead. You want to purchase that pre-sale ticket because now every time I go to an event leading from the front, I get my ticket at the event for the next event, right? So I want to get into it. First year's experience, right? I know some of you guys are brand new. We probably have some new senior consultants on, qualified producers, even supervisors. You know, the first year is the rough year. It's them stages. I like to say this is where you get cut, right? You get cut. And you get cut in so many different ways, so many different angles. The mindset is just going. You have this disbelief and you're fighting with the belief. And this is the make or break you year, right? This is the fresh meat year. You got to at least make it past the first year if you think you're going to have any type of success. So I say that to say, when it get hard, know that you're not the only one, right? You're not the only one whose family started not supporting you, whose friends cut you off, or you cut them off, or you had to let them go. You're not the only one, right, whose clients, for whatever reason, they not sticking to the plan, so they blaming you for it. You're not the only one, right? Or you feel like you can't get any clients. You're not the only one, right? You're not the only one. You got to keep that in mind. Whatever you've gone through in Herbalife, especially in your first year, Steven, I'm sure he went through it, right? He just was able to take the cuts and take the no's and keep going to the next. So you have to think about that. How much time are you putting into the people that you want so badly to be in your business or so badly to get Herbalife? You're so focused on them and you're getting knocked down every single time, and you keep running up to get knocked down, right? Because you're focusing on the same people when there's other people out there that want the same exact opportunity, and it's going to be with much ease, right? So I want you guys to keep that in mind. I call it the cut life. Right? You're going to be getting cut all through Herbalife. Things are going to happen in your family. You know, unfortunately, that's just how life is. You know, there's going to be deaths. There's going to be tough times. There's going to be financial issues. There's going to be all these different things that's going to stop you from getting to your destiny. It's going to stop you from trying to become who you're destined to be. It's going to happen, right? And what will you do? You know, when things get hard, do you not go to STS? Oh, my friends aren't my friends no more. I can't go to STS no more. This is the stuff I see. Oh, my parents, they're not rocking with me. They say Herbalife is this and Herbalife is that. So do you not show up? Right? Because they have not seen what you've seen. They haven't seen it. So keep that in mind, you guys. Like, the cut life. Are you about the cut life? Are you about that life? Right? Because let me tell you, we go through cuts in the marketing plan. First cut to active supervisor, second cut to active, third cut. You got cut. You're getting cut all through your Herbalife career. Why not get cut to go up? Right? Get cut to hold more. Get cut to become who you're supposed to be. Get cut to become stronger. This business is about leadership, right? So everything that you're going through is setting you up to hold for a team. And some of you guys may have a few people, one. Some of you guys may have 10 to 12. Everything that you're going through right now is setting you up to hold for the team. So when they go through it, you can relate to them and they can feel like they're not the only one. And then they'll know that, okay, I need to stick through this because they already went through it. Right? So the cut life is real. Right? First year's experience, we all go through it. And I want you guys to keep that in mind when these things go up. Take the cut. That one hurt. Get up real quick. Let's go. I'm out for a couple of days. Call your mentor. Let them know what you're going. Like literally, sometimes people think that I'm just supposed to guess. I'm supposed to guess that this happened to you and this. If you're not in communication with a sideline love is real. Work together as a team, as a unit. And I know you guys probably already do that, but keep that in mind. Your sideline, what you give is what you're going to get back in return. So that's a big deal. As far as results coming in, you have to be fired up about them, right? But let me tell you one thing about results. Results are going to keep you fired up to get clients. I'm talking about health results, right? It's going to keep you believing in your products. It's going to be easier to talk about. It's going to attract more clients because you become more attractive, right? As far as building a business, that's going to be based on your personal growth, based on your leadership, right? Clients are attracted to results, and we need clients. We need a lot of clients, right? We need to show people what's possible. We need to make an impact. Business builders will be attracted to who you are being, who you are as a leader, right? They go hand in hand. You have to become. Your leadership qualities, let me tell you, they got to be real. I consistently work on myself every single time, and there's a few members on my team that are on this call right now, and they'll tell you, when I'm slacking out, like, I'm slipping right now. And then I'll get better. I'll catch it right away. It hurt me too. I'm taking the cuts too. And then I'll get better. Like I'll get up real quick and figure it out. Right? As a leader, you have to be so attractive that people follow you. Right? And you guys, I'm sure some of you guys heard it before. You follow the leader, and then you become the leader, and then you teach other leaders, and you create other leaders, right? So if people don't want to be around you or who you are being, you got to change that, right? We are in a people business, so if you don't like people, you need to work on your work. You got to work on yourself, figure it out in your head. Like you have to hold for a substantial amount of people. You want to be a president's team member? Style holds for my upline, Super Mario, for you guys. A substantial amount of people. He deals with so many different personalities, right? And some people complain to me about that one person, that one return. I've had one return in Herbalife. I've been doing Herbalife for 3.5 years, right? Unfortunately, right? And you complain. Some people quit. One return, like you gotta just get real with and get in alignment with where you're trying to go. And be committed to what you're doing. Be committed, right? You have to commit to something. I'm going to keep saying that. So your language is important. I always talk to the team as far as we move as one, right? Steven sets goals, I'm sure. Going for 80K. Why does he set those goals? Do you think it's for him? Think about it. And if you're thinking it is for him, I want you to reroute the mindset a little bit. I want you to really think about the marketing plan and how the marketing plan is set up, right? If he doesn't set a goal, he does not create a space for you guys to grow. So if he's okay with 50K, there's no room, no more volume points. There's no more volume, no excess flow for you guys to grow. So that means you guys are going to continue doing 1,000 if that's what you do, 5,000 if that's what you do. Whatever it is that you do, there's no room for growth. So as the leader steering the ship, he has to create that space. I will let you guys know is you hold for the team. When Style created the goals, I said, let's go. That's 80,000 volume points. How much of that is going to be mine? I'm trying to get at least, 50K of that. 50K of that, that's pretty much meal team. Let's go. So get fired up when your mentors are setting setting goals for you guys, because that's in all honesty what it's for, right? And then set goals for yourself. If you don't set goals for yourself, you don't even know how to, you won't get there. I'm going to just be honest, because there's not enough focus and energy put into it, right? So every month you have the opportunity to decide what you want to do. All right, you have to decide if you want to go after 2,500, and if it didn't work last month, then do something different this month, right? It's a constant decision every single month. You have to decide. You have to decide to go to events. You have to decide to get up early. You have to decide to talk to people. You have to decide. It's a constant decision, right? And over the course of almost 4 years, you guys, this has been a lot of decisions. I love to travel. Prior to Herbalife, I was already traveling, right? And when I got into Herbalife, I cut back. Because I had to decide that right now wasn't the time for me to travel when there's something bigger coming my way. There's a team of people looking up to me, right? So don't expect, if you don't go to the events, your team members to go to the events, especially if you know you can go, right? Or if it's somebody's birthday that you can spend time with them. Like, in all honesty, you guys, when it comes down to sacrifices, you're going to have to make a lot of them, right? And what I've learned is that in sacrificing, when you sacrifice something for the great, they say, actually, Eric Thomas said it, sometimes you got to pass up on good to get to great. And when he said that, I was fired up. I was like, oh, let's go. It makes sense. Pass up on the good now to get to great, and then maybe you can do something greater than what they could, whatever think that they can imagine that you are capable of doing for them. Maybe it's your family, right? Maybe it's your mother, your father, maybe it's your children. You got to think about those things, right? So, you guys, the events and sacrifices are real. You have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to do it. So along the course, you guys, when I hit supervisor, we did go into world team maybe, I want to say 5. I didn't hit my first cut right away. I think it was 2 months, and then went right into cuts and then straight to world team. So I was able to do that with just me and my mom, right? My mom was my first supervisor, and she, in all honesty, like, she was rocking. And we were able to get through cuts together. So it's very important to have a team, even if it's just one person, right? And we went right to the world team, and it was cool going to event after event, and it's just me and her. And then after a while, it gets old, or it feels like it gets old. It's like, man, what am I doing? Like, we go to these events after events after events, and I'm trying to figure it out. And then I got real with myself. I was just honest. Who did I invite this month? And there'll be like 1 or 2 people. Right? And I'm like, dang, every single time I would invite 1 to 2 people and have nobody, right? And maybe some of you guys can relate. 1 to 2 people in an invitation is not going to get it, right? So I got it. I realized that for me personally, I had to invite at least 6 confirmations to get to 1, right? Sometimes I would get 2 out of the 6, right? And I'd be fired up about it, but I had got it. It made more sense now. So what happened was, from world team, you guys, 6 months after world team was active world team, right? And when I had active world team, in any type of success and in Herbalife success, you guys see it, you guys, it happens really, really quick, right? It happens so quick. You don't even know where these people come from or how it happens. But all of the stories that you're going to hear in Herbalife, well, a majority of them, when they draw out and you see their numbers, it's just something that happens really, really quick. And I mean like a 2 to 6 month time period. And that's how it happened for me. At the time, I only had 1 supervisor, and I went from 1 to like 7 in a matter of 4 to 5 months, right, in my organization. That's what got us to active world team. Right? Well, it was 5 at active world team, and then we doubled that. I'm sorry, I said 7. It was about 5 at active world team. The 6th one rolled over because 6 months later, we were in our first cut of global expansion team. Right? So it pretty much doubled. We had 8 supervisors that were pushing at global expansion team. 4 of them were my frontline. So I have 4 frontline active supervisors at the time. So play the numbers game. You know, when you bring people into this business, get them active, you know, work with them, support them, be there for them, lead them to where they're going, but do not babysit. You got to know when to let go. You got to know when you're putting too much energy into somebody who's not even listening to what you're telling them to do. And then you just continue to find new. right? So it's not our obligation, because we came in before you, to teach you every single thing, because we don't know every single thing. You know, I don't know. It's been 4 years and I still don't know every single thing, right? So I want you guys to keep that in mind. The obligation for us was to show you this opportunity. And what you've done with it, that's on you, you know, to keep it just really, quite frankly, real. That's how it was. That's how I was trained. That's how style came to me. You know, he would always say, the train is going. It's going to go with you or it's going to go without you, but it's still going to go. So if you decide to get off the train, no problem. We still love you. And when you show up, we're going to show mad love. We're not going to knock you for it, right? But it's going to be gone. So when you come back, don't be surprised if we're at the president's team. Don't be surprised if we're at 15K. Don't be surprised if you're at world team or whatever the case may be for you guys, millionaire team. Don't be surprised. But guess what? We're still going to welcome you with open arms when you come back. It's still no love lost. Right, so the train is going to go. It's just a train of momentum. It's going to go with or without you. And I want you guys to keep that in mind when you're making these cautious decisions about showing up, you know, in your day-to-day lives, showing up for the goals that you've created for yourself, showing up for events. You know, extravaganza is coming up, and this is going to be my 4th extravaganza. I'm fired up. Like, let me tell you, went to the first extravaganza. I share these numbers, you guys, just to show you what's possible. When I went to the first extravaganza, I said I would never quit this business. And I know a few of you guys probably have already said that, right? And then life starts happening. I said, I found it. Too many people are doing it for me not to do it. Too many people, right? And I was like, this is insane. It was so many people. The energy was crazy. Everybody fly. And I'm like, wow, like, let's go. This is what I want to be surrounded by. And this is a yearly thing. I get to come back again. I was like, let's go. Right. So the first year extravaganza, like I told you, it was only me and my mom. That happened to be in LA. It was in Long Beach. The second one was in Vegas, and I went with it was a 6 or 7 people. I was just so happy that I wasn't going alone. Right. I was fired up about that. Right. Because you don't want to go to the events alone. Right. And then the next year in Chicago, we had about 14 people. Right. So the numbers are steadily increasing. And I always think like, wow, if I would have quit when things got tough, when the finances started getting rough, when you start getting hit left or right, when people were talking about you because you're that Herbalife guy or that Herbalife girl, and you don't want to accept that you are that Herbalife guy or Herbalife girl and own up to that, right? If I would have stopped, these people would never have the opportunity, right? Like, so if you guys quit, think all the people you want to help in your life. If you quit, you will never give them the opportunity. If it's your brother, especially when it comes to family, because everybody asks me how I have a lot of family involved in my business. Well, not a lot. I have a huge family, but I have family members in. You know, my mom's on my front line. I have 2 cousins on my front line. My sister's on my front line. Like, I've been able to get family involved, but it was not a right away thing. They didn't. And besides my mom, everybody else didn't come to 2 years later, 3 years later. Right? So you got to give them the space and time. You have to work on your work. You got to continue to show up. You got to stay consistent and persistent so that your family can see that it's not a game. You know, it's not a game for you. You're serious about this. And when you're ready, when they are ready, you guys, you have to just open arms. Like, let's go. Don't wrong them. Don't say, dang, it took you 2 years. Like, just let's go. Your time is now, and you get to coach them. So think about it. If you quit, you'll never give them the opportunity. Whoever that is, thank you. Keep going strong, you guys. I want you guys to keep that in mind because life is going to throw you curveballs. These 3-day trial packs, I don't know if you guys are I'm sure you guys got the information on the 3-day trial packs, but what that does is it gives people who think they can't do it, it shows them that they can. Anybody can get somebody on a 3-day trial pack, right? Anybody. It's easy. It's just talking to people. And if you choose not to talk to people, then, hey, that's what's going to happen. Like, you're not going to get nothing in return, right? But what I've noticed, we just got this and start getting this going, you guys. When I've been using them, the transition rate is easy. It's like I get 3 people started on trial packs. They refer me 2 or 3 people, and they get started the next week. And I'm like, wow. Like, it's so easy. Get people to consume the products. Majority of people, right away, they say no. And then they taste the cookies and cream shake or whatever shake it is, and they're like, okay, I can do this, right? If you quit, they won't have the opportunity, right? Some of you guys may have to take your products to work. Hey, or try this out. Try this tea out. You know, if you're not sampling the products, they'll never know. In the beginning, the value is in you. You know, and that's what I've learned in this business. In the beginning, when you meet people, when it comes to your family, the value is all in you. You're the value. They know nothing about Herbalife. They know nothing about how it makes you feel. The value is in you. So who are you being to them? Right? And then when they finally have their first shake, it's like an aha moment for them. And they're like, wow, this is good. And then by day 2, they already have the energy. And now the value is in Herbalife. Now they understand, like, okay, you know, I don't mind paying for this. But they're not just about to pay for something if they don't see no value in it. So who you are being is important. Like I said earlier, the leadership, how you showing up. Are you being their friend? Are you coaching them through the process? Do you make them feel comfortable? Because they have to trust you first before they can rock with you forever. Right? So always keep that in mind. Invite to you. You know, this is how I do it. I invite to me. I don't invite to Herbalife right away. I invite to a wellness profile. This is who I am. This is how I coach. This is how we're going to work together to get you to the results you want. Right? And then when they try the products, they understand the value in Herbalife. And now they're fired up to take on the business opportunity or become an ambassador. Or maybe they're fired up to pay full price every single month. And I'm okay with that at 50%. Right? So, you guys, I look at it like this. There's going to be things that's going to happen in your business, right? There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. People are going to come. People are going to go, right? And it's what you do when those things happen, right? I've seen people, you know, come with loads of people, and then they didn't, like, all of a sudden they're by themselves. And I acknowledge them because they still show up. No matter what, they still show up. They like, nah, they got to figure it out. Maybe it was them. They had to start working on themselves as far as their personal growth, you know. But I'm like, dang, I get fired up to see people who just hanging in there, right? Everybody's story is uniquely made for them. You know, Steven's story may not be you guys' story. It may not be 9 months right off the bat. But would it be so bad if it took you 5 years? Right? If it took you 2 years, if it took you 10 years, you guys, would it be so bad? Think about it. You work at your job. You can do the math, the hours. You still can't retire, right? Or if you do retire, now you're depending on some Social Security income, right? You might get cut off. It may come late. One thing about Herbalife, they pay you on time, for one thing, right? And then you can pass it down generations and generations. I've never known working, you know, at a corporate career where I can pass my checks down to my children or to my family. I can put it in my will, right? And I can continue working because I love what I do. I love to help people. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Like when you hear Mark Addy or anybody says that you found the opportunity, right? But don't expect it to happen overnight. If you know you come from a rough place, acknowledge it, rock with it. Okay, this is me, but I get to work on myself to become who I need to be to do this business. You get to do it. You get the opportunity to do it. Now it's up to you. Like, it's going to be some confronting times. And I know Steven will call you out on your stuff. You guys have Super Mario. He going to call you out, right? And when they call you out, just know it's out of love. Take the cut. Take that cut. I'm going to ask you again, are you about that cut life? If you're not about the cut life now, you ain't going through cuts. And all you guys can go through cuts. You can go through cuts to active supervisor. You can go through cuts to the next level through global expansion team cuts. You can go through these cuts, but if you can't take the small cuts that are making you stronger, you'll never really make it. And each and every one of you on this call have the same opportunity as me. You have the same opportunity as Steven, Super Mario, Starbuck. You guys have the same opportunity. So it's in the decision. It's the voices that play in your head when things get tough. It's the voices that are playing in your head right now. You know, what are you thinking? oh, this is not for me. Why isn't it for you? Right? You found it. 5 years, would it be so bad? To the millionaire team. 6-figure income. Designing the life that you want. Going on vacations. And then people, like the messages that you get along the way from people whose lives you're changing are like that. In all honesty, like that's when the income doesn't really matter. And all of you guys are going to inspire somebody. If you probably already are inspiring people. You being an Herbalife member is inspiring so many people, whether they tell you or not. And you know, I'm going to tell you how I know this. Because when you get around the people you ain't seen in a long time, they bring up Herbalife right away. Right away. Are you still doing Herbalife? Yeah, you inspired by it. That's why you asking about it. You know, we don't have to tell them that, or some of y'all may tell them. I don't know. But you don't, like, they're watching you. They're watching to see if you're going to quit. Right? And you get to show them that this is forever. So I want to challenge you guys to challenge yourselves, you know, work on yourself. Personal development has been a key in my growth. And it's still every single day I'm working on myself. I still get cut, you guys, even as a global expansion team member, I still get cut. You know, when you start holding for a team, that's a different type of headache. Man, like people start coming to you with problems and this, and they feeling some type of way. Are you able to hold for that though? Like you want a team, but are you even capable of mentoring these people out of certain situations, mentoring them to change their mindset? You know, so first some action steps. I don't know how I'm doing on time, Steven. Am I good? I forgot to set the timer. All right, cool. First some action steps, you guys. Very simple. Decide. Right? That's it. Decide. Decide if this is what you want to do, if you see this for you for as a career. Decide if you want to be part-time. Decide if you just want to be a client. Just decide. Right? Because we had STS yesterday, and Jay Webb said it. He said that kills off anything else once you've decided. It kills off every excuse that you can even imagine. Right? And then be committed. We didn't make a global expansion team organization by not going to events. Right? It just, for me personally, it didn't happen. I don't know if it happened for Steven, but I seen him at every event. So, you know, it doesn't work like that. You know, so you have to be committed, and you have to know that giving is okay in Herbalife. Right? Literally, in Herbalife, like I know some things happening, may have happened in your life where you feel like you got to be closed off, or you can't give, or whatever. People always take advantage of you. Let me tell you, in Herbalife, when you give, or in general when you give, it always comes back. You just don't know how it's going to come back. So contribution is key. Showing up powerfully, sharing your story with your teammates, friends, and guests. Sharing your story is a huge contributing factor to what we do. Right? Herbalife is so dope. It's been so many times I left my phone on the tab team table and I come back and it's still there. This is the company, the integral company. It's been 4 years. Literally, I would get up from the table. I've done it several times on accident. And I'm like, dang, all my stuff's still here. When I grew up, it wasn't like that. Literally, I would have got to the bathroom and been like, oh, my phone gone. That's just an example of the type of company and who we're surrounded by, right? So stand for the greater cause, be committed, decide, and show up even when you don't want to show up, right? That's when you need to show up. That's how I'm going to close it out. When you're going through the most, remember what STS felt like, because we have them every single month. Remember what extravaganza felt like, because we have them every year, and you get to decide to go. Right? When it's tough, it's hard, you feel like quitting, go to STS. You know it fires you up. Why not go? It fires you up. It keeps you in the vortex. It keeps you with the energy of growth. You know, so I'm thankful for each and every one of you guys for just honing in. Hopefully you guys got some great notes, you guys. Steven is an incredible leader on the team. He's paving the way for a lot of people, right? He's showing me, you know, what's possible. So it's not about the time. It's about, you got to respect hard work. And I'm all about respecting hard work, right? And we get to get better and not look left and right unless it's for motivation and support. Right? So when I'm looking at Steven, although he did get the 2.5 global expansion team, I'm like, let's go, motivation and support. I know that I can reach out to him if I need to. You know, so that's how you got to look at people in this business. That's what's going to allow you to grow. That's going to allow you to become. And I'm so thankful and give gratitude to all of you guys on the team. So I'm going to give it back to Steven.
Thank you. I definitely, man, I appreciate it. I think more so than anything, I just appreciate the relatability, the stories. I'm pretty sure at least one person, you know, probably was able to relate to one of the issues, and it most likely is going to be the getting cut, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have. I mean, when you said it, a lot, I can picture scenarios of different people on our team who've had that situation, and it knocked them back. Like, and for me to hear from somebody else, like I got all kind of herbal cuts, and it don't even matter, because it's like, you know, it's just because I understand that that's going to happen. And what I've been hearing for the last 2 years that I've been in this business is, if, like what he said, would it be so bad if you made it to a millionaire team in 5 years? And for those of you who don't know the numbers, for the person who doesn't understand the marketing plan yet fully, and you don't understand these numbers when he says global expansion team and when he says millionaire team and president's team, though, that's what we call the top achievers in the business. If you're at the millionaire team level, if you just so happen to just do the minimum at the millionaire team level, you're looking at an income of around $7,500 a month. Now, I don't know what kind of job you got, but I know what kind of jobs I had, and I wasn't making nowhere near $7,500 probably in 3 months. So for me to be able to just get that, you know, and say that, hey, this is the kind of lifestyle that I create for myself. Granted, if you're a worker, you know, millionaire team, you can see $10,000, $12,000 a month. We had people stand up at our last Success Training seminar yesterday, and they were like, oh, last month, $12,000. Oh, last month, $9,000. Oh, last month, $17,000. And I'm like, for me, that was enough. I don't care about anything else. I got to help people. I don't care what I have to do. I don't care about the action that it's going to take. I'm going to do whatever, you know, Super Mario and Garen Jones, you know, my uplines, I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do, because they're there. And if I see Super Mario get a check for $29,000 in the mail every single month for a year, I don't care if I don't like him or not. I'm going to do exactly what he says, because I don't make nowhere near $30,000 a month. But he's saying I can do it, and he says he's going to show me how to do it. And he tells me every single thing that he tells me. I don't care. I got 2 kids. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I got 2 brand new babies, and life is hard with babies. And, you know, my girlfriend also does the business. So imagine us having to be at every single event. If you know me, I'm from Wisconsin. I've only been living in California for 2 months longer than I've been doing the business. So everybody I know does Herbalife. So what happens when everybody you know that does Herbalife goes to an event and you got to find somebody to watch your babies? You know, and then that becomes an issue. But for me, it's not a problem. I'm going to find somebody some way, somehow, because there's no way I'm missing anything. Not a call. I'm not going to miss a call. Why am I going to miss a call? Somebody might say something that changes my entire business. So for him to, you know, talk about the not having the excuses, oh, I got this, like Jonathan Weber, our guest speaker, said he had to miss his daughter's her birthday. And he was crying because, you know, he understands how kids are and missing birthdays. And some of us won't go to an event or something because we got maybe a tournament that weekend, or we have a fishing trip or something, you know, whatever it is, you know, a concert that we want to go to, you know, and we're like, you know, I'm going to go do that. So you're going to go somewhere where you're going to have a good time. Well, we have a good time at STS, and we learn how to make money doing it, and we learn how to change people's lives doing it. So for me, every single month, July is coming, so you plan around the event. Our event is this weekend. Okay, I'm blocking it off. I'm canceling work. I'm making sure that I don't have anything to do. You know, things happen. Like I told you, Jonathan Weber sacrificed to miss a birthday. Super Mario sacrificed a funeral for his uncle to go to be present at the event. These things happen. No, things happen in life, but guess what? They're going to keep happening if we don't do something different to change. And that's just what it boils down to. So I definitely thank you, Ali, for that. We have a few minutes if anybody has any words, questions, or comments or concerns for Ali, yeah, Ali killing it like a sign. So I got a sign up saying Ali killing it. But if anybody specifically from my team, if anybody has anything to say to him, for him being on this call, please unmute yourself. So we can go ahead and do that. I'll give you like a few minutes, maybe one or two people if they have anything.
I just wanted to say, this Jermaine Jones speaking. Shout out to my upline Adrian. Shout out to Sanchez. I just wanted to say, when you talked on the cut light, something that really Steven said, he knows that it probably hit some of his downline. Yeah, that's one of those things that hit me hard. This month has been a struggle. There's been a lot of cuts and a lot of, I guess you could say, dropouts or whatever you want to call them, people who quit. So I've been experiencing the cuts, and I'm going to have a couple scars, but, I'm going to keep grinding for our team, for us, so I can help my guy get to where he needs to be, so I can help our org get to where we need to be, so I can help everybody else and continue to help change lives. That's like you said, that's one of the biggest rewards of this is getting people healthy and changing lives. So I appreciate you speaking. I appreciate you, Steven. Appreciate you, Sanchez. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Jermaine Jones. See you in a few weeks at Extravaganza. And if we had anybody else, we've got time for maybe one or two more.
Maisha.
I saw her too.
Hey, Ali. I want to thank you. I've known Ali prior to Herbalife. He's like family to me. It's good to hear your story. I'm proud of your success and your drive for continuing. And I appreciate you for sharing the cuts of life. And the fact of not wanting to go and going anyway, that hit me hard. I love you, and keep it up.
Thank you, Maisha. Almost down 100 pounds, Maisha.
Yeah.
Killing the game out here. Herbalife is real. All right, we got time for one more person if they wanted to share before we get on out of here.
Hey, you guys, even if you come up with something or a question, the way it works is we all work together. My success is Steven's success. Steven's success is my success. Your success is my success, and vice versa. The reason being is it creates some type of momentum. It's some type of energy. So whether we see each other or not, you guys, it's very important for us to work together. That's why a lot of people to bounce ideas off of each other to where, what always works for me, it may not work for you. It may work for you, but maybe something that's working for you can work for somebody else. So if you don't have something right now, it's no problem, but I'm always open. You guys feel free to reach out because this is just what we do.
All right, cool. We have time for who's that?
Jay Lowndes. You gotta unmute yourself.
I appreciate the bomb nuggets, Ali. Jay Lyles in Houston, current supervisor or whatever. One thing that stuck with me was, the main thing that stuck with me is when you said do not babysit your team, your coaches. That was honestly my favorite thing, man, because throughout this business, you can have that vision and want to share it with somebody else so bad, but they may not have that same vision as you or whatever. So, you got to learn how to let go. And at the same time, you can't want it more than them, more for them than they want it for themselves. So that's really the most important thing, because everybody don't want Prez team like how you want Prez team. So you got to let go. So that was really bomb, and I'm going to really implement that. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Steven probably said some of this stuff already.
I told you, but it's, that's Ace will be listening to whatever he want to be listening to. Something. That's my dog, though. He always show up. But I'm going to close out the call for you all. I definitely, again, I just want to say thank you to Ali for, giving us another perspective of the business. It's always good to hear somebody who's going through the same things as you're going through as building a team, hearing their perspective on things. And I just have a few things, maybe 2 points. I had a few more, but for time constraints, I just want to have 2 things to leave you all with today. It kind of ties into exactly what Ali was saying, as well as our this past weekend success training seminar. And I do this stuff keep in mind, for those of you who don't have the opportunity to go to success training seminars every month, I know my people in Missouri, they have a little bit tougher time because they don't have anything that's right there with them. And for people who happen to miss it, I kind of recap all the time. So one thing that really stuck out to me is he says success is not pursued, it's attracted. So kind of like what Jay Lyles just said, you know, with people trying to get people to do the business, understand everybody's not going to do this business. But what we need to understand is what you're doing is what's attracting. I'll share this really quick. When I was on my 7th month in the business, and I actually just hit active world team, and I went backwards. My organization went backwards, and Garen Jones reached out to me. I had just done 27,000 volume points that month, mind you, the month prior, and I thought that Garen Jones was calling me to congratulate me, and he can call me and talk to me about my organization going backwards. We had did 10K, and that month we had did 4, and he asked me, he asked me what I was doing, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm just doing all this volume. You know, I'm just out here killing the game with volume. And I had the biggest smile on my face. And he's like, but what about your team? And I was like, oh, they all right. And I looked, and I was like, man, I barely did half of what my organization did last month. But it was how I was being. I was being a selfish leader. I wasn't helping people out. I wasn't doing the things that had got me to that active world team by really being a team player. So and then what he told me, and he even commented on my Instagram post, was made me mad, where he was like, you know, you attract the kind of people that you are. So if you have a business that ain't doing nothing, then you're probably not doing something yourself. Or if you have always people that ain't getting results and people falling out of the business, then that's what you're attracting. You know, it's the work that you're putting in. Are you showing up no matter what? Or if you're not, then you're going to get people that don't show up. And understand, you may be doing stuff, but people are only going to do a fraction of what you do anyway. So you got to be extra. Y'all see me on everything. Y'all I'm on calls 3, 4, 5 times a week. I'm on everything because I know if I do 6 calls a week, I may get somebody to do 2. And that's what I need, because if I only do 2, you're probably not going to do none. So I have to be more than what my team is going to be in order for them. Like Ali talked about creating space. I have to create space for you to know that it is okay to do all of that. It is okay to go above and beyond by yourself, because sooner or later, Rhonda, it was me and Rhonda for a year, just doing everything, having back then it was Ustream calls, and it was just me and her looking at each other on Ustream, and we were just talking, and it was pointless, but I was like, I'm going to do this no matter what. You know, I'm going to always show up. I'm always going to be here. The months may not be the greatest. And I'll tell you, for me, these 6 months already are just not the easiest months for me because with the babies. Life is just not easy, but I'm not ever going to complain, because all I know is once we get Prez team, once we get Millionaire team, it's a big sigh of relief. It's a deep breath, because life just gets easier. But I know that I have a mission and I have a goal, and I have to create that space for my team to share the same vision. Understand, you may be great, but you have to create space for your team to be great. And I wasn't doing that. So success is not pursued. You don't go out and pursue. You attract who you are. Understand that. And that's what you're going to get. And the last thing is never stop following the leaders. And great thing that Ali brought up about how, him and Style have that relationship. One thing that we have to realize is the relationship that you build with your sponsor and your sidelines, and even your up lines. The relationship you build in this company is what's going to save you. It's what's going to change your business. For me, I had to build relationships with my sidelines, and that absolutely changed my business. But I'll let you guys know, me and Super Mario did not get along for maybe the first 12 months, 13 months of the business. I almost quit several times because if you know him, he has a very keen attitude. He's very blunt, and I'm very blunt. So, two people like that don't really mesh. So I almost quit. I remember I was sitting VIP at one of our STSs, and they were at a vacation. And I don't know how it had worked out like that, but all the Prez team were on the Prez team retreat, and we had our STS the same week as they had their Prez team retreat. And I was texting him. He talking about a jacket I had on that had some kind of branding that wasn't branded or something like that. And he was telling me, and I was like, dude, I'll lead this business right now. And mind you, at that time, I was like top 3 in Addy org for volume. I'm doing 20,000 volume points like it ain't nothing. I'm like, you need me. I can't. You need me. I'm all your volume, dude. You ain't going to press team without my 20K, so stop it. And he's like, well, you leave. That's that. And that's what they was talking about, Jay Lyles. You cannot be so scared to lose somebody, because I guarantee you it's somebody around the corner right now hungry for this opportunity. And they probably got no people that's hungry for this opportunity. But letting one person, and this is something that's like for me, it's like, man, he was going to let me go and not even complain. I'll replace you. Yeah, I'm in cuts of press team, but and missing out on your organization. Mind you, that's global expansion team number. So he getting like 40, 50,000 from me, every month, and he gonna lose that. But he's like, whatever, dude. Like, okay, you don't want to do it. I'm sorry. There's gonna be somebody else. And for him to be so blunt, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna stay though. But I was just kidding. like he was like, I thought he was gonna beg for me to stay, and he was like, nah, cool. But that's the kind of mindset that you have to have. Because Soup said, I'm going to press team with or without you, and you can come if you want to. And that's my mindset to everybody. Look, I'm going to press team in 2 years. Who come with me? We going to millionaire team here in the next few months. Like Ali said, what contribution are you going to have to that? What level of the marketing plan are you going to be in to contribute to that? See, I ain't trying to start a whole new trainer, so I'm going to end it right there. But that's kind of what I do, man. That rubs off on me. But I mean, I think I'm just fired up about this opportunity more than anything, because real talk, before this, there wasn't very much for me in life. Being as intelligent as I thought I was, and all these different things, and I had all these talents, and I really was like not in a space to be able to use my talents in anything. Like I was just at a job, and they told me, here, this is your limitations. This is how much we think you're worth. And now I have an opportunity to prove, even for the part-timers, even for people who are like, I just want to make a little bit extra money. Like Herbalife is never going to say, dude, stop making money. Stop helping people. For the brand new person on the call, you want to, make a little bit extra money to, pay your phone bill or have gas or kick it on the weekend. This is the opportunity for you. But if you want to change your location, you want to live on an island somewhere, and have time freedom and financial freedom, then this is also an opportunity for you. But understand it takes a little bit of sacrifice, like he talked about. So whatever it is you're looking for, understand it's here. If you're just looking to get your 50%, understand it's still here. But this was a great call. It is recorded, so I will have the recording for anybody who wants it. Just reach out. I'll post it in my group too. And if anybody wants the recording for the people who couldn't make it, please feel free. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna mute everybody so everybody can say goodbye. But my people. Before I do that, post in our group your biggest takeaways. I'm going to make sure Ali sees it for anybody who was scared to say something. But post in our group your biggest takeaways for the call tonight. And I will see you all most of you all at Extravaganza in 2 weeks.
Go!
Bye.
Bye.
Say good night.
Bye.
Is it over? Hello? What's on?
Bye. Fred, you be so boss, dude. I can tell that's your voice.
Bro, leave me alone. Always bullying me, man.
Fred, you ain't about that cut life, dog.
Bro, what's up, man?